Mr. Godot? Huh? Okay then, let's move on. Godot's literally shaking, and somehow I don't think it's from caffeine overdose. It's just having a minor stroke, it's okay. I believe it has now been established that Miss Elise was killed by Maya. That's just wrong. Now it's time to turn our attention to you. Yes, sir? After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We're all ears. And red visor. After Mystic Elise died, I called out Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Korean tradition. So I removed the body from the inner temple myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. Then I used the snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple and... That snowmobile is going to be the important part. I used the Shishido to alter the way the wound looked. So you moved the body. Yes, I was raised at Hazakura Temple. I owe a great deal to thanks to the Fei clan. But even so, I never imagined that Elise was actually Misty Fei. I've committed a terrible sin. A terrible trick of fate. I believe you're the word you're looking for, twist of fate, Your Honor. I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body. But... you were spotted by the head nun, correct? Yes, and that's why I couldn't go back. Your story makes sense, I suppose. Mr. Wright, go ahead with your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. I need to go to the snowmobile. Because this isn't... how do you get it there? Because you would have left after the bell rung. So... and it had stopped snowing by then. How do you get the snowmobile there? The snowmobile, I knew it would come up sooner rather than later. Yes, I had the key. I used the snowmobile to travel from Hazakura Temple to Dusky Bridge. Just the part that was in question the other day. Should I ask for more details? Fuck yeah! The tracks. I don't give a fuck about the snowmobile. Because she gets the key. That's not being contradicted. The problem here is going to be the tracks, and there's only one set. If you really did move her body by snowmobile, then there should be tracks left in the snow, right? Well, yes, naturally you would expect tracks. This picture was presented at yesterday's trial. Are these the tracks from the ride? Yes, I think they are. But I can only see one set of tracks here. I don't see what's so strange about that. Snow was still falling when I left Hazakura Temple. I see. Snow was still falling, huh? And then when the murder took place, it already stopped. That's why there are such fresh-looking tracks. How about it, Mr. Wright? What do you think about this testimony? It's very important. When the murder took place, snow had already stopped. That doesn't make sense if you stack it up against the other evidence. Your Honor, I like the statement Iris just made added to the testimony. But does it have something to do with the case? All will be made clear if you allow our statement to be added to the record. It should be fun. Let's get this snow business cleared up, shall we? Yes, sir. Well, yeah, that's true, technically, but By the time the snow had already stopped, that's true. Lightning from 10 to 11 though, and when did it hit the bridge? 10:45. Wait. 1 second. All the way, you could not have dragged the body across the bridge if the snow had already stopped, because that gives a time frame. Because even if she says she did it before whatever the bell happened or whatever, which couldn't have happened, and say it was still snowing, from 10 to 11 there's still lightning, and the lightning hit the bridge. So unless it was still it stopped snowing, by the time she got to the snowmobile, the lightning already hit the bridge, so she couldn't have dragged the body across it. You claim that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred, but I'm sorry, Iris, that just isn't possible. What? This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 p.m. But you couldn't have crossed the dusky bridge at the time. Why do you say that? Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and had caught on fire. What did you say? The bridge, it was on fire? Obviously, how couldn't you have known? It was pretty big. You don't mean to say you didn't know about it. It was just because of that lightning strike that the bridge burned down. What? But it can't be. Why can't it be? Looks like you still haven't figured it out. Looks like you didn't cross that bridge. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney. No. Order. The bridge was already on fire when the incident took place, that's right. The inner temple was already totally cut off from the outside world. There's no way she could have crossed the bridge. Body or no body. Witness, even my patience has its limits. Any further lying and I will find you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say for yourself? The only person here that is truly contemptible is you. Old man. What? What the fuck did I do? How dare you? Whether this witness lied or not doesn't mean squat right now. Squat? The important thing now is to find out the truth, isn't that right? Yes, of course, but whether it was snowing or not snowing, or whether the bridge was burning or not, there are two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of Elise was discovered in the Hazakura Temple courtyard, and second, the head nun, Sister Bikini. Witness Iris desecrating Elise's body. He makes a good point, on both accounts actually. That's right, I'm not lying. What are you claiming this time? I wasn't myself at all that night, so my memory's still somewhat hazy. You have stood at that witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling us now that your memory of that night's hazy? It is only human to err. If you're so perfect, Trade, maybe you can explain this for the court. What is it? When the murder happened, the bridge had already burnt down. But somehow the body traveled across the bridge that was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation for this little magic trick. Huh. I don't exactly know. I know there must be some other way she got across the burnt out bridge. But unless I can somehow demonstrate it, we'll never know the truth. There is one demonstration that's been given to the court. I don't know if you want to accept it. It looks like the defense is not prepared to offer a suitable explanation. You see what I mean? In other words, you're in no position to suggest that this lady's testimony isn't the truth. Ah. Alright then, witness, let's hear your testimony once more. About what, Your Honor? You've admitted that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contained a rather large inconsistency. Please add an explanation for that to your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. Will this be her final testimony? No. It never is. Moving the body. Other than walking over the bridge, there's no way to move the body. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. Was the snow still falling, or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much? Or are you saying that there is a way to cross a burning bridge? So it's just a misunderstanding, I see. This is a photo of Dusky Bridge after it burned down from the lightning blast. It was taken on the morning after the incident. It certainly was burnt to a crisp. And one of the suspension wires is gone. It's amazing the whole bridge didn't fall. Oh my god. Clearly it would be impossible to carry a corpse across the bridge in that condition. You're not telling me that this fucking picture, someone's using a wire to sling across. I swear to Christ if that's the case. That there's like a wire tied to like the end of the foot and it's being swung across. This is gonna be crazy. There's no other way! Jesus, please no. Unless I do something to discredit this testimony, it's going to be deemed as the truth. And Maya will be accused of murder. Tried, I'm only going to say it one more time. It's only human to err, and only humans can spot the errors of our ways. The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes. Alright, Mr. Wright, please begin your final cross-examination. Are you sure about that? A dead body flying over a burning bridge? I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility. What? You're saying it's possible. Don't make me laugh. The only thing that's possible about your claim is that it's been pulled out of thin air. I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen. Preposterous. Who is it? Who is this witness? I can't chicken out here. I've got to keep on the attack and go, go, go. Shift into the left lane, baby. Miss Elise is a brilliant and highly gifted apprentice, Laurice. Hey, that's me! Brilliant, highly gifted apprentice. Remember what he said in his testimony. That night he was at the Mountain Shack Heavenly Hall. And that's when he witnessed the event. I think you've all seen the sketch before. It's an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night. Are you serious? Today's not April Fool's Day, is it? Mr. Wright, are you seriously claiming that the victim flew through the air, and you're using this pathetic scribble to support your argument? Uh-oh. Judge looks like he's about to blow a gasket. Well, tried. There's nowhere for you to hide now. Other than looking like it was drawn by a 6-year-old, does this sketch prove anything? Yes, I'm pretty sure it does, and I'm gonna prove it. Listen, I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside down. If you're so eager to turn this case upside down, why not start with this sketch? Upside down? Why'd Godot say that? This thing, oh. This thing's upside down. That's, yeah, it is. It's not flying over the bridge, it's flying under it because Larry's fucking stupid. The suspension wires go underneath the bridge, not over the bridge. That's why. Yeah, underneath the bridge. I got you, babe. I got you. So yeah, this is underneath the bridge. Yeah, and one of the wires snapped and being probably used as a pendulum. Alright, then let's hear the defense's theory. What exactly is this sketch trying to show? I don't think old Whisker Face is going to forgive any more mistakes. Alright, Phoenix, look carefully and think it over. The sketch drawn by Loris. A complete contradiction. Maybe. Or exactly what happened. It's not what exactly happened, because the problem with this sketch is it's upside down. So if I say it's exactly what happened, then yeah, someone fucking flew through the air. Maybe. Let's go contradiction. Because no one went through the air. Something's obviously funny about this sketch. I'm not art critic, but even I can see that. No, that's not what I mean, Your Honor. Loris stated it over and over, that the sketch was exactly as he saw it. However, if we're to believe his testimony, then the sketch contradicts reality as we know it. It contradicts reality. Huh. This is getting interesting. Looks like you're back to that finger-pointing thing again. Okay, Trite, what exactly contradicts reality as we see it? It would be the guide wires. This thingy. It's this wire connected to the bridge. The wire? Huh. Is that the thing that contradicts reality? It is indeed. And show us the reality it's supposed to conflict with. Show us something that will point out how the sketch contradicts reality. That's a photo of Dusky Bridge, correct? Yes. Now compare the sketch and the photo for a moment. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. While in the actual Dusky Bridge, jumping Jehoshaphat? Whatever. The wires are below the guard. The wires are below the guard wires. What? Order. This sketch is somewhat different from what's depicted in the photo. However, isn't it likely what he saw, that the artist just saw it wrong? Or perhaps he just drew it wrong? Either way, it sounds like you're just wrong. With someone like Loris, I admit a mistake is a definite possibility. But then that begs the question, why did he make a mistake? What was the reason? Are you saying you know the answer to that? Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Loris was doing when he witnessed this event. He was at Heavenly Hall waiting for a lover that was never going to come. He waited and waited, and finally he laid down. But then, lightning shoots from the sky and it sets the bridge aflame. Now ponder what sort of position Larry must have been in at that time. He was lying on his back, which is why you remembered the scene the way he did. He was lying on his back. I can't see how it relates. He was upside down. But it does, Your Honor. That's the reason why the wires were in the sketch go up instead of down. Ah! Ugh, no way. Loris witnessed the event while he was lying on his back, face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down. So then, this sketch should actually... I think you finally get it, Your Honor. The correct way to view Loris' sketch is like this. This is how it should actually look. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge. It was actually swinging below. That's right, just like a pendulum. What ridiculous. Order. So of all the things to say, a pendulum. The bridge was burning to a crisp. There is no way to get across it. But if the body had been at the inner temple, it would have caused problems. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used the burning bridge to get the body across to the other side. And a pendulum was the only way to get it done. Let's think about this for a minute, shall we? Dusky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about that far from the inner temple to the opposite cliff. Yes, that sounds about right. In order to cover that distance with a pendulum, you'd need a rope at least 10 yards long. Oh, you mean a guide wire? Or a guide wire? Just a wire. To get a rope that long, you have to plan ahead. The lightning strike that night could only have been an accident, so it doesn't make sense that the criminal would have prepared a rope beforehand. So then, the criminal made do with what was available. They didn't have to get the rope ready. The rope was already right in front of the criminal. What? I'm saying that it was just a matter of using what was already there. In that case, Mr. Wright, please give us an explanation to support your theory. What makes you think that it would be this? And the meaning of this? If you want to know where the rope came from, it's hanging right there in front of your glorious beard. Ah! This is one of the wires from the bridge. When the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire, one of the suspension wires came loose from its anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tied the wire around Elise's body. And fucking flung it. Because there was simply no other way to move the body. Huh. Mr. Godot. It seems that Mr. Godot is more focused on his coffee than answering my question. It seems that the odds of a rope being readily available were very high, so I suppose that it's not an impossibility after all. Possible or impossible, that's not the question we need to ask. There's only one question: did that really happen? Try to wonder if you can prove that happened to us. Do you have any actual evidence that the body was swung over like a pendulum? Her body fell 10 feet. Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Looking at the map, we can see that it was the one that was in front of the inner temple. So then, that was the spot where the criminal... Yes, precisely. Now let's consider the body's movement by looking at the overhead map again. If the body was pushed from here from this point, it would drop on the opposite bank at approximately this point. Did you say drop? Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the on the other bank. What makes you think something like that happened? Because I have evidence that suggests her body dropped some distance. What kind of evidence? Take a look at this autopsy report. It says here that her body fell about 10 feet after her death. 10 feet, huh? That's most likely the height distance between the two sides. The body overswung due to the forward momentum, but then came loose and fell about 10 feet. And then as a result of the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose. That's... Yes, this blood-stained amethyst crystal. It's the one that came off of Miss Elise's staff. And even more important is the place where this crystal sphere was found. Indeed, I believe it's already marked on this overhead map. The crystal was found... Ah! Precisely, Your Honor. In the very spot where the pendulum would arrive if given the right amount of speed. This explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright. You have provided us with a way the body could have moved that night. An impressive deduction, Mr. Wright. Most impressive. Ow. Mr. Wright? I thought this cold coffee might help cool you down. Fuck you. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Godot? That was a dark and bitter guess that you made, Trite. But you forgot about one thing. Oh, what would that be? The aroma. Huh? Coffee's most reliable accomplice is its deep and profound aroma. The rest of the court doesn't speak Coffinese. Can you please elaborate? If the criminal had sent the body to the other side like you say, then naturally there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it. An accomplice? The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge. So who collected the body? What do you have to say about that, Trite? Mr. Godot is correct. This can't be the work of a single person. Well, Mr. Wright, you know what you must do. Yes, Your Honor. The body can't have made it to Hazakura Temple without an accomplice. Very well then, now if you please, Mr. Wright. Who was the person that received the body on the Hazakura Temple side? It'd be Iris. Adalia is the one that sent it over. It can only be you, Sister Iris. Huh? Huh? But I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. But with her bad back, Sister Bikini could never pick up a body like that. You're the only one that could have managed it. Objection! Trite, were you even listening to the witness's testimony? On the night of the crime, the little cutie pie was on cleanup duty in the inner temple garden after the mother-daughter bloodbath. I haven't forgotten, but have you, Mr. Godot? This witness was also seen at Hazakura Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim. Strange indeed. It's almost as if there are two. On that night, the defendant was in two different places at the same time. Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony? Mention what? The pendulum, of course. Using the sketch drawn by an eyewitness. I've established how the body was moved using the burnt-out bridge, which means it's now a fact that this occurred. Something you should have already known. No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum. But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help. So you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing. Unless you're not really Iris to begin with. What? How can you say that, Mr. Wright? What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying this witness isn't Iris of Hazakura Temple? Objection! It's your sister, isn't it? Are you serious, Trite? But when? You mean this woman is? When the earthquake happened, maybe Dahlia switched places and put the 5 locks on there after Iris had opened the 1 lock. Earthquake happened. Maybe Dahlia was inside, trades places with Iris, and puts regular Iris back into the cavern. Maybe that's what it is. There's no one besides Iris who could have received the corpse that night. Now I get it. Now I know why I've been sick to my stomach during this trial. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday. and why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. The woman that's standing there on the witness stand. Her real name is Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. I never thought I'd have to utter your name again, let alone see you. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne. Hawthorne? My sister Iris had a twin sister, and you're looking at her. Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.